Hiya, come on in and get cozy. I hope everyone's staying blessed and protected. I hope everyone's going to have a fabulous Thursday. I want to thank everyone for being here, for all my lovely subscribers, for all your shares, your likes, your comments, everything. I appreciate every single one of you. Wasn't going to do a reading today. Just had a bit of a moment. Today it's somebody's birthday. Well, it's a couple of people's birthday that I know. But one was a special lady who was once in a relationship with my brother. You know, we were like sisters at some point. Like, I used to live in her flat and she lived with me as well. And for many years, you know, we was quite close. But unfortunately, the last time I spoke to her, I think it was on Facebook, and we had a little bit of a spat, so it was sad. But I'm going to light a candle for her today. This is a candle for Nicola. She was brutally murdered by a then partner who was a bit of a psychopath, well, a lot of a psychopath, completely deranged, killed her so brutally. I will share it on my community page. I'll share the article, so you get to kind of understand the depth of what happened. But you know, the day that it happened, it was Christmas Day, and I was living in Newcastle, and that day, like in the morning, I'd done all the Christmas dinner and that lot. But in the afternoon, like something came over my body. Like I couldn't move. Like I felt like the pain in my body. It was so heavy, and I was just laid down on this like chaise lounge thing that I had, and I couldn't move. Now I didn't know what had happened, but I do know how I felt that day. You know. And then the next day, I got a phone call from my daughter, and she said, "Mum, she's Nicola's dead." So I had to be the one to ring my brother, who she had a son to. He had a son to Nicola with, and I had to be the one to tell him, you know. And it just happened from around the corner from where he lived as well. And he went straight down, but like honestly, I can't even talk about it because it's really, she didn't deserve it. And she was 6 weeks pregnant. And he was completely deranged. He was taking, you know, substances. He'd been out that day, I think, you know, to visiting his family or whatever. And they come back. But yeah, he took her away on Christmas Day, and she had 2 beautiful children. And apparently the little girl, that's not his, that's somebody to her ex-husband. She's the double of her. She's been in my dream. She's come in my dream before, and she came to tell me about. It was so weird because it was I was going through it with not the psychopathic malignant narcissist. It was a covert narcissist. You know, it was like a friend, and I kind of got into a relationship with him. It didn't last long, but I didn't see the red flags. But she came in my dream and showed me. You know, like an angel would. It's just not, isn't it? Oh, you don't want to stand up? But yeah, it was really. I can't even talk about it. It's that difficult for me to actually talk about it because it was so brutal. Like I think it she had like 102 injuries or something like that. Had a frenzied attack, probably like 30, 40 times, something like that. But it was hard. It was difficult. It was hard. And even though we wasn't like on talking terms at the time, we had a lot of memories together. Like my son, her son was born in July, and my son was born in September. Then I lost my son, and then I moved in with her after my son passed away. I moved in with her. She kind of helped me through that, you know. Yeah. Honestly, just even thinking about it, we've got embassy here. She was a good mum. I've heard people say bad things about her when she's not being here, and I just think, how horrible you are. You should never speak ill of the dead. I could say a few things, but I wouldn't. She was a good mum. She was such a lovely person. She really was. She put up with so much crap. Not just from him, from my brother as well, you know what I mean? But we're just going to see what comes out. This is the real reason why I wasn't going to do reading, because it's just, it's a birthday today. But he actually got sentenced on her birthday. He got a minimum of 23 years. It's like, how can you forgive someone for something like that? You know what I mean? Yeah, he was intoxicated and being taking substances, but it's still no. I was thinking, I wonder if he feels any remorse. Does he feel any remorse at all for what he did? Taking her life away because she was pregnant with his kid. Maybe, everything happens for a reason, and he did not deserve a child. He didn't, but she did. It was totally in her head. He was totally controlling it and everything. It was so sad. When I've been through an awful situation with my ex, it was absolutely horrendous, I'm still here, and she's not. Anyway, let's get into this reading. See what spirit wants to come out today. But yeah, happy birthday, Nicola. Dear Heavenly Spirit of the Most High, heavenly angels, archangels, spirit guides, ancestors of our highest good, we call upon you, Heavenly Spirit, to protect our chakras from the root to the crown. We call upon you, Heavenly Spirit, to protect our energy as we channel this message. And we call upon you, Heavenly Spirit, to block out all and any negative or evil interference. And we call upon you, Heavenly Spirit, to show the collective what they need to see right now. Thank you. We love you. A tower. Something's coming down. A tower moment, Yeah, this is like, wow. This is something big. Excuse me. This is something big, but there's some protection here with the Seven of Wands, or someone needs to protect themselves. Ten of Cups, family. It could be family protection, or protection from family. But there's a tower moment here. It can be like even a, like, oh, we've got a Four of Swords in reverse here. And an Eight of Swords. Ooh. But so a tower is something big, It can even be like a truth bomb being dropped, something like that. Someone that when a tower occurs, it's like it's a dismantling of something. Now this is the Spheres of Heaven tarot here, so I'm going to read what it says in here. It says the joy of the cataclysm. The Tower is a notorious card, brimming with symbols and portents. It can be interpreted in many ways, some positive, others utterly apocalyptic. But no matter the interpreter, all agree the Tower signifies that a period of stability is coming to an end. Whether the house of God, the Tower of Babel, the ziggurat, or some other edifice, they are falling. Whoever dwelled inside, nobles, high priestesses, worshippers, is cast out into the world. And since the tower seldom represents a place that is only physical, those toppled outcasts might easily be our own deeply held beliefs or notions about the nature of our world. The building's top is a mighty crown representing willpower. It is shattered by a thunderbolt, an upturning of the once natural order. This might seem catastrophic, but the destruction of the old, even the violent, terrifying destruction, is often necessary for something new to come into being. The tower originally bore the letter Pe, a symbol of speech and communication. With its downfall, the voice of official doctrine is silenced. The divine energy and teachings hemmed in by the tower's walls are no longer held in a confined, controlled structure. They are now free to join the world again, spreading, becoming part of nature itself and materializing in new, unexpected ways. The world is turned upside down in fire, and the energy release can now fertilize the lands, minds, arts, near and far. As a side note, the particular tower depicted on this card was the seat of the Dioscorian Council. While this caused some civil unrest at first, the council eventually bowed to the wisdom that even their kingdom must one day fall. That to fail to acknowledge this was not only hubris, but childish folly. Something big, it could actually be in somebody's life, or spirit could be talking about the world as a whole. Something big is going on. And we are gonna find out. We've got a Six of Swords here, A Six of Swords represents, a leaving of one place to go to a next. And one place that it was bad, it could even be like immigration and things like that. Sometimes, Six of Swords. And I feel sorry for, for the ones that really need help, for the ones fleeing war-torn countries and things like that. But the ones that come here and commit crimes against people, and they're them ones. Nah, send them back. We have a King of Pentacles here. I mean, this could be an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Take that as it resonates. Yeah, I'm all for free countries. Keeping borders open and things like that. I am. I really feel like we should be able to roam free around the world without any restrictions, but only if you adhere to the laws and probably some of the customs as well, respectfully. Why wouldn't you? If you're going into, a Muslim country, cover up, adhere to their laws. Same as if they're coming into, into the UK and things like that, they should adhere to our laws, there's different, it's like tit for tat really, But yeah, there's something, I feel like something big is going down here. Yeah, we've got a 10 of Wands here. Something could have been too heavy, too much of a heavy burden, having to leave a place to go to the next, which, a lot of people are. There's so much migrating that's happening, not just with birds, with people. I've seen so many stories. Just one sec. Sorry about that. I had to pause. I had to blow my nose, otherwise I'd be sniffling all the way through. Yeah, I've seen so many stories online where people are actually leaving, and especially America. There's like what's going on there is like, whoa. The warning signs were there so many years ago. I used to post it on Facebook, get out of here while you still can, because what's going down is horrendous. And it's not just there, obviously, it's other places as well, but You know, we've got a Nine of Cups here. A Nine of Cups is being in an emotionally, you know, good place. You know, it's a balance, really. 9, magic number, number 9. But they're saying 3 is a magic number, but 9, I've just split it on the Three of Swords. So I feel like this is after pain, that somebody's come to, you know, an emotional balance of, you know, being emotionally well again. You know, after pain, after heartbreak, after the Tower. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles as well. I'm seeing a 10 of Swords peeping out. Look, with the 10 of Wands, something's over here. Something's ended. This is someone being independent. This is someone, you know, 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. This is someone being independent in that on their own. You know, financially independent, emotionally independent. But the 10 of Swords, I've seen the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands. It's something big, you know, something that's over now. This could be the Tower. You know, you have to take it as it resonates. Because things have to fall apart to start again, and I don't mean about this New World Order. You know what they're trying to do, these smart cities and everything else. I don't want to be in part of that. No, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't want to live in a world where everybody's controlled, everything's controlled. You know, it's like that. It's not going to happen. You know, I really don't believe that spirit. I don't feel that spirit would allow that to happen, you know. It's like we're in the days of, as we're like in the days of Noah. It's like history is repeating itself all over again. And even though it says in the Bible that the world would never flood, it says it's going to be tried by fire. The 6 of Pentacles, you see, something has to balance out after this heartbreak. The 3 of Swords is showing itself again. This is meant, you know, a balance. Things have to be balanced out. So I feel like whoever this reading may be for, or, you know, if it's a worldly reading, it's like it has to be balanced out. We've gone through so much conflict and war and pain and suffering for so long, yeah, and control. It's like people have Stockholm. You know, if you're voting, you've got Stockholm syndrome. That's what I feel. It came out, and it came out in reverse, this 4. And we've got the 4 of Pentacles as well. A 4 of Swords in reverse. I just split it on the 6 of Cups as well. Oh my word. Usually the 4 of Swords in the upright. Ooh. I feel like it says here that it says the 4 of Swords, the qualities of the 4 of Swords is dangerous. It could be a dead end. So I'm feeling like this is not anymore. And it says our intellect can become grounded and capable of making intuitive leaps. But I feel like this is somebody who's no longer in a dead end. I feel like somebody. This is why. You know, and I feel with the 3 of Swords, it's like cutting ties as well. It's like getting yourself free. It's like it says here, excuse me. Yeah, I feel like something definitely is something like something a cutting of ties here. Yeah, from the past. It's the cutting of the ties from the past. I feel like somebody's no longer restricted. I feel like where there were restrictions, now there's no longer. no longer restrictions, not cutting the ties to the past here. Yeah, this is a Queen of Wands. A Queen of Wands here. And she looks fierce. She looks like she's ready to go. She looks like she's ready to go. You can go up there, Queen of Wands. I mean, this could be, you know, and we've got the Page of Wands. So I feel like this is someone, a progression here from a Page of Wands to a Queen of Wands. Yeah, I feel like someone, you know, it could even be like that kind of a switch, you know, from being in that restricted mode, you know, of being feeling like immature youth, you know, like a Page is young, like a young energy, but like now all of a sudden, you know, having to grow up quickly. I feel like this is what it is. This is someone having to grow up quickly. I feel like someone's now independent, you know, breaking free. I was watching that thing. This girl on YouTube, on social media. I don't know if she's just on YouTube, but she's called Eugenia, and she's terribly sick. She's so thin. She's got you know, an ED. She's actually skin and bone. She looks like she's actually on death's door, and she's a mother. It's got this mother who's enabling it, and I feel like, you know, there's something seriously wrong in this situation. But like, if she could break free, you know, or there could be some intervention. You know, I even prayed for divine intervention, you know, for this person, because she's like a grown woman, 31 years old. I don't know why I get that vibes, you know, something like that. It's like, yeah, someone breaking free from such a controlling situation. Like, I don't feel like this woman, the mother treats her like as if she's a little kid. She's scared of doing anything. Everything has to be run by the mother. You know, it's almost like this mother's keeping her sick, you know, on purpose for money, really. Because this girl, it's honestly, she used to look well as well. I've seen a picture of her before, you know, long before, and she looked fine. And she did have there were some intervention, like a friend and that, and then she did get help, and she seemed to be getting better. And then when she came back into the care of the mother, she got really sick again. It's almost like someone keeping someone sick here, you know. I don't know if that, you know, there's no accidents. Oh yeah, we've got a King of Cups here. I mean, this gives me like, you know, no. I had to pause it because the dogs were barking at somebody leaving in a car. Because the King of Cups here, I'm going to read this King of Cups, is wisdom of kindness. So I feel like this is someone being kind here to this Queen of Wands. There's someone here, you know. The Queen of Wands could be somebody standing up. I'll read the King of Cups to you. The most travelled of all the kings, this ruler has seen the world and met everyone there was to meet. In his travels, he has learned that kindness can be the key that unlocks any obstacle. He would never use force or tyranny, as the harmony and happiness of those he interacts with are of the utmost importance to him. To those seeking his support, he will offer his treasured wisdom. In his cup, he stores his precious feelings for those who thirst for peace, harmony, and companionship. The King of Cups can heal us with his kindness and teach us to flourish and grow with openness. Now, he's like reaching his hand out to this Queen of Wands, and this Queen of Wands, she looks ready to fight. But this is mastered intuition here. The Queen is a person of action and a master of her intuition, seated on a throne as imposing as the Emperor's, though less sober, more jovial. The Queen of Wands is at the top of her game, a master of her trade, with intricate knowledge that she can boldly put into action. She is a master of intuition. Her hands are relaxed, but holds her staff at the ready, able to react in the blink of an eye. She sits surrounded by lionesses. These restrained, powerful beasts are calm for now, but could leap into action in moments. From her throne, she can view the entire world and is receptive to everything around her. Far from being a passive observer, though, she acts on this knowledge when the time is right, making her move at the perfect moment. To resist this dynamic ruler is futile. Her charm is blinding. shining from her courageous breast like a second sun, ensuring all who might oppose her simple acquiesce and melt away. Yet this queen is not all flame and anger. Her throne is decorated with and surrounded by sunflowers, a symbol of her hopeful, nurturing disposition. So it seems to me like this person, this King of Cups, is giving some advice to this Queen of Wands. You know, I feel like she's waiting for the. Shh. She's listening. I feel like she's listening to whatever this guy is saying. I feel like she's listening, and I'm getting independence. These two people are not together. These could even be rulers in the world, you know. But take it as it resonates. Yeah, that is the card right there. So there's some opposing forces here, you know, and I feel like this is, you know, could literally represent what's going on in the world. Yeah, I just seen Five of Swords, conflict, because there is so much conflict in the world, you know, but it always gets worse before it gets better. That's what I just heard. Things always get worse before they get better. You know, we've got lovers here. Lovers. Now this could be, you know, could be meaning a relationship. I just split on the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, so there's something, you know, not working. But we've got a Knight of Cups, and this is someone got like usually coming in with a pursuing energy. Now we've got a King of Wands, so this is a match to the Queen of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Wands here. This is a match, but you know, maybe they're not even met yet, because she's up here and he's down here, and she's listening to this the wisdom from this King of Cups. It could be a granddad energy, it could be a fatherly energy, you know. But you know, take it as it resonates. I don't feel like these are together at the minute. You know, the King and Queen of Wands are usually not a married couple. This is, I feel, with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, someday, you know, I feel, well, we've got a Ten of Pentacles here. This is a family legacy. This is building family legacy. I feel like something has to be balanced out here. I feel like there's no restrictions here. The Four of Swords is usually restrictions, but in the reverse, I feel like there's no restrictions here anymore. We've got the Lovers with the King of Wands, so this is someone coming in. A Knight of Pentacles, this is very solid energy. And I feel like it's like something written in the stars here, like I'm seeing all the stars. I feel like something's written in the stars. I mean, it doesn't have to be an air sign, take it as it resonates. It's an energy, a fiery energy, a passionate energy. You know, King and Queen of Wands is a match. But I feel like this Queen is listening to some advice, and it could be from a father energy, a fatherly energy, or a grandfather energy. Ace of Pentacles is a gift. You know, it's a gift from the Most High. And I'm going to read it because this is a different. All tarots are not the same. You know, they can have similar meanings, but this is the spheres of heaven. The opportunities of the material world. The Ace of Pentacles is our entry point to the material world. It is a card at the intersection of matter and spirit, allowing a synthesis of both realms. At first glance, this might seem like only a humble coin, but like all currency, it holds within it the power and the meaning of all coins. It is the luckiest of all the pennies and is stamped with the likeness of every ruler and numeral. Looking at the Ace of Pentacles, we realise that grand good works can be achieved in our own realm, not just in the spiritual. The material realm may have had its hardships, but it is where we live. We must embrace it to succeed and remain watchful for opportunities here. So I feel like there's something kind of opportunity coming in here. And I just seen the Ten of Swords again, but I split it on the Six of Wands. You know, I feel like there was some kind of conflict, and I've seen the Six of Swords again, so I feel like something's over here. This could even be a past relationship is now done. Somebody's now healed over it. Somebody's now financially stable on their own right, because things have to be balanced out. This could have even been a divorce. But take that as it resonates. But I just feel like there's no restrictions anymore. Somebody could be healed. Somebody could be ready. Yes, somebody, just as I said that. Spirit. Sheba's a spirit. Sheba! Yes, you are, aren't you? Yes, you are, spirit. And do you know something? The Ten of Swords is there, but the Ten of Cups is there. I feel like something's over and something new is beginning. We've got the Empress again, very, very beautiful energy. I feel like it's almost like there's an Empress here, or Emperor, take it as it resonates, switch the roles, you know, it's an energy who has been through it in the past, you know, with the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords, you know, could have been had restrictions even, you know, kind of like that poor girl, that Eugenia, who's been, you know, held captive by her own mother, you know, but this is someone who's freed themselves from a situation and become emotionally stable, financially stable, things balancing out. Maybe listen to the advice of this older person, you know. Somebody could have give you wise advice. I split it on a King of Swords, you know, which is usually justice and law and, you know, logic and truth and all. But I feel like there's a healing here. The start is a very healing energy. Somebody's had to heal from the past, the Six of Cups, whatever this was, is a healing. Yes, look at this, the Devil with the Page of Wands and the Empress. Spirit. This was a dark energy. And it kind of gives me that what the other day when I did that reading, and it had that Lover's card, but it had that black entity wrapped around the woman. And I feel like that kind of thing, yeah, but I feel like this is somebody free now. Somebody's freed themselves. Somebody's no longer restricted. You know, I feel like this is someone ready to go again, you know, ready to trust again. But it's hard, isn't it? It's very difficult. I feel like so many people now have opted to be single because there's so many lunatics out there, but there's also so many good people still in the world, you know. Not everyone's bad. And I feel like they're showing, like the truth is being revealed, like, you know, people waving red flags above their head. You can see them. I like the red flag man, the red flag man and the green flag man. Yeah, there's something here that's no longer working. You know, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like this is realizing, you know, there's something no longer working. Yeah, we've got the Nine of Wands. You know, the Nine of Wands is like the Wounded Warrior card. So I feel like somebody's no longer wounded. Look, we've got a Two of Cups. This could be a new Two of Cups coming in. Yeah, I feel like something. I just seen the ten of Wands and the Eight of Swords. So something was very a heavy burden. It could even been like, you know, being in your head, being all in your head. It could even be somebody going to prison. But take that as it resonates. Somebody's had to go through it here. Somebody had to go through it. Oh, and I know. I knew it was the Devil card, and it fell on the floor. Yeah, that's where you belong. And the High Priestess, oh, Spirit, and the Empress. I just, and the Wheel of Fortune, Spirit. You know, no. I'm telling you, this is powerful. So I know this is something that, that was destined to be. It was something that was meant to happen. High Priestess, Empress. Oh, Spirit. And the first one that we've seen was the Tower. The devil, the adversary who teaches. The devil is the polar opposite of the Hierophant, but just like him, this strange spirit offers a vital lesson to those climbing the sacred peaks towards enlightenment. The devil is a strange, paradoxical form, reveling in its task to teach humans that they are not free at all, but bound by the inability to acknowledge and therefore see beyond their own darkness. This bat-winged creature, which delights in its place beyond the moral order, has ascended from the abyss to make its sport. Yeah, the devil, the adversary, is roaming the earth, was flung out of heaven. The devil sees through the lies and hypocrisy of the human realm. Unlike us, its gaze pierces the murky shades of contradiction, the obscure complexities we can only grasp as a sick feeling when things don't add up. It is a beast associated with both Mercury and Saturn. Mercury for its role as unwelcome messenger, and Saturn as a nod to Saturnalia, the dark festival of reversal. By falling into the devil's grip, its prisoners have suffered a reversal of fortune, but it is only a matter of time before they break free again. Symbolized by the Dioscorian tradition of painting the figures the same colour as the card's background. Like the snake in the Garden of Eden, it is easy to mistake the devil for an adversary, but one might instead consider it an unexpected manifestation of the divine. Just like the snake, the serpent power, it is also rooted in the material world, hence its connection to the zodiac sign Capricorn. And like the snake, it uses trickery and suffering to teach humanity profound wisdom. And coming out with, the High Priestess. This is, I feel it's really a really powerful message for these four major arcana, just to show themselves like that. And the first one was the Tower. The High Priestess has withdrawn from the world into a state of introspection, where nothing but the mind moves. Often regarded as a female, a daughter of the stars, an avatar of moon gods and goddesses, Hecate, Diana, Khonsu, Nana, Sin, Isis, etc. Her three, excuse me, her three faces inspired by those goddesses refer to the three aspects of the mind: ego, superego, and ID. The High Priestess has moved away from the body towards the mind and a deeper union. They are connected to the Prakriti, the pre-cosmic substance from which everything that exists derives in Indian philosophy. In their hand is a book emblazoned with the Hebrew letter Gimel, which some assign to the moon. Unlike the magician who practices the tarot to divine the answers to his questions, the High Priestess already holds all the knowledge in their hand, sitting at the crossroads at the universe. By travelling inward into the mind and ultimately the unseen roots of the cosmos itself, they can reunite matter with spirit, bringing peace where there is confusion. And I feel that this is what this Queen of Wands is here, is bringing peace. But I do feel like she has the wisdom of, the spirit, which, Father Spirit, Mother Earth. So this could be this Queen of Wands, like listening to spirit, taking the advice, of spirit. Because the Empress is here as well, Strength through passion. Brimming with passion, the Empress is an ambiguous figure with numerous forms and manifestations across the tarot traditions. For some, she is soft and boundless, ripe with child sitting in a lush landscape filled with unstoppable growth. For others, she is a ruler who shares many aspects with the emperor, each one side of the same coin, her feminine energy to his masculine. In Dioscorian tradition, this femininity is expressed as a determination to protect and lead her homeland, making it prosperous and powerful. This regal aspect is demonstrated by her male eagle, erect pose, the strong vertical lines of her dress, and the wheat stalks around her. They also stand for the prosperity she ensures for her people. She has a stern exterior, a wise intellect, a connection to the divine, and radiates an imposing physical presence. She stands in juxtaposition to the high priestess, and she is hard and intellectual on the outside with a soft core. Yeah, and they both came out. They're both here together. The Wheel of Fortune. I'm reading these. I mean, I could just intuitively say what I'm seeing, but I really would feel like if this is with this book, this tarot book, I've naturally never done this, never read from this book, so I feel like it's important that I do. The cycles of the world. In the world we exist in, there is but one fundamental law: mobility and change. However, this world was set in motion. It cannot be stopped. It turns and turns and turns, often in uncanny, repeating cycles, giving our existence a distinct rhythm. These repeating patterns might be as simple as the passage of time throughout a day and the repetitions of days that form our impression of time itself. Or they might be as profound as the great cycles of the seasons or of our own personal triumphs and disasters, which seem to come upon us without end, until they don't. For things are always coming to an end. What goes up must eventually come down. Nothing ever stays on top, preeminent forever. Everything rises and everything perishes. The laws of nature reside at the centre of the wheel, represented by the Hebrew letter Kaf, which indicates how those laws hold sway. The paradox is that at the very centre, everything is still. By this reasoning, the wheel of fortune will continue to turn until the extinction of time itself, which, by the very same reasoning, will come eventually. You know, I feel like there's some really powerful meanings here, some really powerful cards, and I really feel like there's something. It's like, yeah, even spirit made the tarot, you know, for a reason, to do the sifting, you know, finding out. Oh my God, I just split it on the young man. This is seeing things from a different view, seeing things from a different perspective. Yeah, because everyone's always like, oh, the devil this, the devil that. No, it's an energy, a very low vibrational energy that is there on purpose. You know, everything's for a reason. People say, oh, if there was a God, then why would this exist? And why would that? And why would... Because it does. You know, we cannot understand the ways of the Most High because they're too high for us to comprehend. You know, yes, there's suffering in the world. Yes, there is. I know. I've lost 2 babies, but still my faith grew stronger. My faith grew even more stronger. I didn't lose faith. I grew faith. No. This energy has to be in life. There has to be a balance, you know, and I feel that this is how spirit weeds out the weeds, you know, sifts the flour, you know, to get the lumps, the fine flour, you know. Like spirit says, I have saved me a cluster of grapes, out of a cluster, you know. We're all going through it and we're all going through these lessons. I mean, some are just pawns in this game of chess that's in this world. It's like, you know, it says many are called, but few are chosen. You know, there's so many say, oh, I'm chosen, I'm chosen. Yeah, many are called, but few are chosen. And I don't think, you know, it's like If you read Enoch, the book of Enoch, Enoch was spirited away to heaven, you know, and they never found his body. You know, does that not sound like the same story that Jesus was? You know, when they went to the tomb and the cave and they moved the rock and it was not there, or the rock was already gone, open, wasn't there, spirited away. It's like some people come to Earth on a mission, and like they know the mission and they don't question it, they just do it. Other people, I just don't know. You know, I feel everyone's been given free will anyway. You know, and this is why this energy is here. It's like you choose whose side you're on, but at the end of the day, the Most High owns everything. You know, the entirety of the universe. But we have free will. So the devil of the adversary is roaming about the earth yet, and it's up to you whether you're going to remain in that low vibrational energy and always live in that, you know, never heal, or you can heal, have that faith as big as a mustard seed. And if you've seen a mustard seed, they're just like a little dot. But the sad thing is that, you know, man-made religion did brainwash a lot of people, you know, and take things absolutely literally rather than look for the deeper meaning in it. You know, there's a lot of deeper meanings into it. Even it's like the Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah, when they knocked on my door, sweet as anything, yeah, but they don't know. I mean, I could have opened that door and told them exactly what, you know, I believe, but I didn't want to. There was no reason for me to do that. I don't want to go in that. I don't want to be the upsetting. I'm not here to upset people. They seem like sweet little ladies, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's a purpose for everything, you know. It's like Spirit says, you do what they do, but don't become like them. Yeah. So spread the word, but don't become like them. Because I met these Jehovah's Witnesses and they were saying to me, oh, the 144,000, they've already been, it's already sealed, all this. And I'm thinking, no, it's like, it's in the mind, it's in the mind, it's in the brain. It's, you know, it's like people are thinking, oh, I'm chosen, I'm a chosen one. You know, I feel like it's not something, you know, I feel like Spirit does pick us out and picks people to help awaken other people. You know, I feel like everyone on this earth, as it even says, when every single person on this earth has had a chance to know, that is when the end will come. And I feel like this is why the World Wide Web was invented. You know, because then it is worldwide, isn't it? It's like everybody has had a chance to know. And I feel that's why there's so much information now online. Like, it's unreal. I mean, there's a lot of lies as well, you know, but if you use your intuition, you're in the High Priestess, you will use that intuition to know discernment. You know, discernment is a gift. Common sense is as well. Because, you know, it's not that common. I don't know why they call it common sense. They should call it rare sense, because not everybody has it. You know, common sense is like, I don't know, it's just using your brain, isn't it? Just use your brain. Not a lot of people have it, you know. And you know, I don't know. I just have to, sometimes I have to keep my mouth shut. I don't want to offend anybody. If people get offended by anything I say, that is not me doing anything on purpose. That's like, there's something that inside that person that needs to heal, because my intentions are pure. And I have worked with Spirit for so long, you know, for decades. So, you know, for somebody to think that, you know, that I've got no bad intentions whatsoever, but I have had the adversary, the devil, you know, trying to get into my life, like, you know, entices. Look at this. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune with the Fool. again, and these cups are peeping out here. 5 of cups and 4 of cups, so there's something here. The 7 of pentacles, you know, coming under the 8 of pentacles in reverse as well, you know. I feel like this is the devil can no longer work in somebody's life. This is what I'm seeing. There's something. Somebody's obviously made a decision, you know, to get out of a situation, whether it is with a person or an addiction or anything that's low vibrational. I feel like this devil's no longer able to work in somebody's life. I feel like this high priestess, you know, energy is like can see through it, can see through the bullshit. Yeah, there's something about a whole new beginning here with this Wheel of Fortune as well. And I feel like it's taken the fool, all it is taking. The fool takes a leap of faith, even though it's like trusting in the Most High, even though you can't see. You know, no matter what has happened in your life, no matter what tragedies are going on around you, it's not losing that faith that the Most High knows exactly what's going on. I felt like somebody was touching my leg then. Yeah, I feel like it's, you know, it's just having that trust, having that faith. Whether it is in religion or spirituality or whatever it is, it's just having, you know, knowing that however long this world has been here, you know, the world keeps turning. But I do feel like there's something going on right now, that we are walking through this revelation. We're seeing all the signs in the sky. But I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and we was on about this alien invasion. I said, yeah, that's probably the next thing now, because you're seeing so much of it coming out into the media, you know. And I'm not afraid. It doesn't scare me one bit. I ain't scared of them, you know. I'm really not scared of these. Look, we've got a 10 of Pentacles here. This is, and they're lovers again. So there's 2 different kinds of lovers here. Wow. Now I need to have a look. But I do feel like there's something new here, and something that is destined to be. Yeah, we've got 2 lovers cards. Wow. Now I have to have a look. Why is something touching my leg? And that was my other leg. It's only showing me one. And they both say 6. So but there's two. I will have to, I'm going to show you them both. I'll cover her boobies up. But yes, they're both number 6. Both the lovers. One could be past. And I've got the Ace of Cups here and the Emperor. So I feel like this is new. This is a new. You know, there could have been a fake one in the past. You know, a fake. You know, when you always, because you will always meet the karmic one, the karmic soulmate before you meet the real one. The lover's blissful harmony, also known as the lover in the Marseille's tradition, where a group is depicted surrounding a single titular lover. This card is usually interpreted instead as 2 heteronormative lovers coming together, male and female, the universe's dualistic principles in harmony. The 3 versions included in this deck reflect also the 3 versions. Dioscoria's free and open attitudes towards love, a society formed from those rejected by convention. Dioscorians express their love and gender in uncountable ways. This was quickly picked up on by card painters by the 16th century. It was traditional for this card to depict the buyer and their loves. This personal touch was also a way for card painters to showcase their skill. Regardless of the genders or number of partners depicted, all interpretations of this card depict a union that is emotional in nature, but encompasses the entire spectrum of love, mind, body, and soul. This union is brought out by a higher power and represents total fulfillment. While this might mean the bliss of romantic love, it could stand for any situation where complementary forces come together in harmony. This deck represents this harmony in the form of a white sun casting its joy from above. I think that was that one. Yes, that's the sun. But this power can take many forms, including an angel or a being working with or through one. This could be Raphael, Archangel of Air, associated with Mercury and therefore a messenger. For some, the white sun might also evoke the fool. After all, this figure, also associated with the colour white, may be ignorant or innocent, but this is precisely why they are capable of unconditional love. Since they lack any unhelpful preconceptions, there is nothing to hinder them from a union with the other. I really feel like this is something coming in here, and I feel like it's something very solid with this Knight of Pentacles. Yes, there's a Two of Cups here. There's a Two of Cups, there's the Ace of Cups, there's an Emperor. There's something, I feel like, a very powerful relationship that is going to be, I feel like this could be in the past. This could have been like, I feel like, because this is the moon, this is like in the dark. And I feel like this is someone who has healed from this low vibrational energy, and now it's time. There's a union. Yeah, a Ten of Pentacles. This is somebody who you can build with. This is someone who you could actually build an empire with. I feel like when these two great minds come together, wow. I feel like that when I seen the tower right at the beginning, so this is someone who's like, gone through this. And it's like, yeah, I have to be totally dismantled. You have to be totally healed from this past relationship. Totally healed. Yes, and Knight of Cups, this is coming in. I feel like this is somebody's Emperor or Empress, take it as it resonates. It's coming in. This is a love offer. And I didn't know this is the way that this reading was going to go, but it is. This is someone who's fully healed from a karmic relationship, a past karmic soulmate. It is something, if you're having to deal with that, it's something that you have to come to earth and do that. It correlates with our past life. Yeah, I just seen a Five of Cups and a Seven of Swords. I feel like this person, it's like they didn't break you. That actually made you. Look at that, the sun. Nah, the sun. This person didn't make you. They broke. They didn't broke you. They made you. And the sun is here, shining. The sun will shine on everything. I feel like this is something like, like happy days are here again. The radiance of life, usually depicted as a child or children dancing under the all-knowing, bountiful sun. Dioscorian tradition instead uses the imagery of twin birds circling each other in flight. With the bountiful sun above, surrounded by cultivated gardens and sunflowers, these dancing birds are free to do as they please. The sun is the natural opposite to the moon. In place of that card's dark mirror to the unconscious, this depicts a moment of conscious joy. But this card also, in some senses, the counterpart of the devil. The prisoners on that card look heavenward, seeking divine enlightenment, but see only the dark form of the devil itself. The figures on the sun are free, blessed by a divine all-seeing power. It looks into it and knows both the world and the seeker consulting the cards. The birds themselves are free yet together, innocent yet enlightened, unbound yet loaded with riches. This power is bountiful but not without dangers. The only boundary this card knows is heat, scorched earth and fiery death. Too much of it creates deserts, like fires consumes the world. The moon card with its cool frozen night is this card's necessary counterpart. Together they form a pair, critical for life, the sun and moon acting as a cosmic father and mother respectively. Now I see where I placed that. I feel like that was meant to go there because this is the moon here. I feel like this was something that you had to go through. This is seeing things from a different perspective. You know, this is something that it was like a kind of a karmic debt that had to be done. And that is something that is now healed. And I feel like this is someone new. You know, you cannot, because maybe you had to heal because you couldn't have met the one right away. You know, I feel like if you did, you might have still gone through the same kind of thing. You might have still, because it's all energy. You know, this is something that had to be learned. This is something that had to be taught. And I feel like this wise teacher, I feel like it could be the Most High, you know, or it could be just someone in your life. But I'm feeling very spiritual. The King Cups is a very spiritual energy, a very intuitive energy, a very wise energy. So, you know, a very emotionally balanced energy as well. You know, I know what I'm seeing, but it keeps coming out so much in so many readings. You know, that it's Holy Spirit is wanting to get this out into the message into the universe. Excuse me, authority figures here. Authority figures, and now this is the gavel. So I'm seeing miracle right here, and we've got Scorpio energy. Authority figures, Scorpio energy. You could be a Scorpio, or they could be a Scorpio. We've got a miracle and synergy. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves as part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, I'm getting ringing in my ears, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. This is a miracle. This will feel like a miracle. It's going to feel like a miracle. Honestly, I feel like this union is going to feel like a miracle after the past, you know, in comparison. And we've got defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. And this is the moon, you see. So I feel like, yeah, the passive side of the sun energy, you know, yeah, I feel like and your intuition as well, the moon, you know, like where the sun is a fiery energy, the moon is the passive energy, the cooling energy. Sun and moon balance it out, you know. Fire, as I said that, fire. It says, have faith in, don't worry about, and now is the time to, and Pisces is popping its little head up there. So we've got Pisces as well, you know. I just seen the third eye chakra. Orphan. Somebody could have been an orphan. Somebody could have lost both the parents. Take that as it resonates. The birds, you know, I'm going to do a reading. And I've said to my daughter, I have not heard the birds for ages. And all of a sudden this morning, the birds were squawking. And I thought, wow, you know, they must have heard us because I thought they've not been coming round. I've not been hearing them. Oh, divine masculine. The frequency of divine masculine supports our strong, focused and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. The, the divine masculine. I just seen forgiveness here. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is part of healing. You know, forgiving what that person did because it wasn't personal, like, you know, it was, they were being used. That energy was being used. The Most High was using that person to come into your life, you know. So it's like not taking it personal, like, you know, forgive them. I mean, some things like what happened to Nicola, that's unforgivable. But this is something like that, it has to be forgiven for you to be able to open that door, the door, you know. And I feel like somebody has. I feel like somebody has done this. And we've got intuition to protect attitudes from the past about and resulting from the history of, and this is in Cancer. We actually get, the moon is in Cancer right now. So I feel like this, somebody could be actually reflecting back onto the past and seeing it with new eyes, seeing it with the different perspective. You know, I don't know if authority figures are involved in this situation, but forgiveness is here. We've got Merkaba 32. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experience into our present to serve our highest purpose. Yeah, this is something to do with your past life. Your Akashic records is something that is like destined to be. And we've got the change here. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. So I feel like this is out with the old, in with the new. You know that what you went through was on purpose, and it might not have felt good, but it made you who you are. It made you into a better person. It made you better, not bitter. And that's why you can forgive. The attraction of pleasure from and good times, Venus, the goddess of love, is here. You know, there's the goddess of love is shining down on someone. You know, you could be about to meet the one. Maybe, you know, because sometimes people think, oh, it's not happening, it's not happening. It will happen in divine timing. And I feel like it's releasing and healing as well. You know, and that forgiveness, maybe that's the key. Maybe that is the last thing that someone needs to do, because if that tower's showed itself up right at the beginning, you know, and the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like somebody healing here, and the stars here. I feel like healing from this past energy. Oh, we've got transportation as a full-time job. And then we've got medicine man or woman here. But transportation, somebody could be a driver, serving, doing a little at a time. But there's transportation here, so something, you know, somebody could be a driver of some kind. Transportation as a full-time job. Anything else over the spirit? This deck is like 3 decks in one, and I like to use them together. It says, with the trust of a child, fun, romance, making art, and doing it dramatically. This is in the 5th house. This is like, I feel like taking a risk here. There's dice, you know, taking this risk. Making art with the trust of a child, yeah, because I mean, children are so trusting. That's probably why, you know, people take advantage of them, because they're so trusting. Oh, but I feel like that the spirit's asking you to trust as a child. Look, we've got the arts, and then we've got a scribe and a writer. So I feel like this could be the art. You could be a writer. You could play the guitar. And twice I've now opened it on that. It says the extraordinary power of prayer, the highest and lowest aspects of them control the situation. And this is in Scorpio. We've got Scorpio here. And I just seen this, as you did in the past, your own base or your family, and doing what makes you feel secure. And Pisces is sticking out again. Pisces energy. It says, have faith in, do not worry about, and now it's the time. This is the North Node. I feel like someone is someone has stepped into their North Node here. And it says there will not be anxiety about trouble. And that's the South Node. So I feel like someone has gone from this South Node into their North Node, and there's not going to be no anxiety about, we've got relationships, the beauty of doing it with your partners in Libra. This is a balance as well. This is Libra's justice. There's not going to be, have faith. Do not worry about it. This is the time from the North Node. Will not be no anxiety about the South Node. So I feel like that's the past, you know, somebody coming from the past. Pisces said, yeah, I'm here. It could be Pisces. You know, take that as it resonates. Pisces is my opposite sign. But yeah, powerful. This is powerful. Where do we go, Spirit? I've just realised how long this has gone on, but I just opened this and it says the butterfly, evolving and growth, next phase, healing the inner child and releasing the past. Yeah, I feel like releasing this snake. The snake energy, but yeah, coming out of, somebody's come out of the South Node, coming into the North Node. The butterfly. I feel like somebody's like, could have been in that cocoon, you know, that what is it, the metamorphosis? Is it? Somebody coming out of this. Somebody could be a driver for a living, you know, doing driving. I remember my nana once thought that my ex was a taxi driver. She was so funny, my nana, but she was so innocent with it. It was like, you know, she wasn't racist. She was not. Sudden change. Look, shock. And it's passion here. Sudden change, shocking news, surprise and epiphany, transformation. I thought it was going to say transportation, but transformation here. So this is a shock. This is something sudden. This is the tower. Something sudden happening. Passion. Insane chemistry. Sparks and having fun. Equal interest and a burning desire. So I feel like this is, you know, something's going to be, you know, it's like you're your real soulmate, not the karmic one. I feel like the karmic one taught you everything that you don't want. So now you know exactly what you do want. Ooh, a love call, expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you and informing you. So somebody could be coming in with a love call. Or a message or something, you know. Oh, look, a date, you see? Getting back out there, meeting someone new, setting a date online. I don't think I would ever date online. We've got a twin flame. Spirit is not messing around. Yin and yang balance, union, duality, complement, polar opposites. Yes. So mine is a Pisces. But I do get on with Scorpios. I have had a Scorpio relationship. Ooh, got abundance, positive mindset, manifest, gratitude and bliss, and blessings. And we have here the sword and the rose, clarity, truth, revelations, honor, protection, and determination. Right, I'm just gonna look. This situation is calling for you to have faith, trust. Spirit says trust. Now, if anyone comes in the comments saying, "Oh, I'm never," this is not your reading. Then, if someone's like, I'm staying single forever," this is not your reading. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So maybe you've already met this person. You know, it gives me them kind of vibes where, you know, you've had a chance meeting in the past It could even be being in a photo, you know, when you see people and they get together and it's like they're in the background of the photo or something like that. It gives me them kind of vibes. If you've already met this person, it's someone that's destined to be into your life. Heavenly Spirit, Heavenly Angels. Can we have another message before we close this reading out? Thank you. We love you. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Can't make it up. It says, great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, so make the effort. Yeah, make the effort. Oh, yeah, once you've healed from this, once you've come out of your south node, it says, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Yeah, a man is not going to want a woman who, you know, is not in love with himself. If you've got no boundaries and you've got no self-respect, that's not going to be, it's going to be a turn-off. It says, express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture. Anything else, Heavenly Spirit? Anything else for the collective? Thank you. Well, that turned out good. You know. Oh, it says enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Honeymoon. It's the honeymoon period. Yeah, isn't that like the first year? Oh. It says attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And it says your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, healing family issues. Yeah, I forgive mine because I feel like, you know, that sometimes they probably, you know, probably tried the best at the time with what they had. You know what I mean? I don't know. So we have to forgive them. And it says heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And it says your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment, engagement. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Yeah, so that. I didn't know it was going to end up in love reading, but you know, there you go. But I do feel like, yeah, someone had to go through this. Someone had to meet this karmic relationship, you know, they had to experience it to find out what you don't want. And it could also be karmic debt, you know, something that happened in a past life that you had to come into this life to learn. You know, the law could be involved here, but you take that as it resonates as some kind of authority figures. You might have lost your parents. I don't know. I don't know your story, but there's an orphan here. It might not literally mean an orphan. You just might be, you know, estranged from your parents like I am. Yeah. I hope this reading helps someone, and I hope everyone has a fabulous Thursday. I love you all. Take care. God bless. And I shall see you all soon.